Good afternoon. I am Dr. Howard Looney. I'm a retired professor and a citizen of the county. I'm retired from National Defense University. I taught there for the DoD Computer Institute and then the Information Resources Management College for 25 years. I taught federal executives and managers in this kind of area for 25 years. I taught acquisition of information technology, project management, program management, and business process redesign, this kind of material. I think you're starting to find you don't have any big need to contract out here, outsource. But one, at the very beginning of the discussion, concerns me where this report and the talk is about outsourcing core services, core functions, core competencies. Pretty much any academic in this area, any student, any professor will tell you that what you want to do as an organization is identify your core competencies, your core services, your core functions. These are your reason for existence. Your raison d'etre. I don't know French, but it's your reason for existence. Those are what you do yourself as an organization. Other activities on the periphery, these are the kind of things that you would look at contracting out. Somebody else might be able to do those better. Contracting out is not as such a way to save money. Sometimes it might save money, sometimes it might not. It often decreases quality and responsiveness. Now, my first suggestion for addressing the structural deficit, and I think you've heard it before, is to say at a very soon date, certain, as the lawyers say, new hires do not get a defined benefit pension. Current employees keep it. New hires don't have it. And I know you've heard this, but there's precedent. Federal government did this in 1985 with their employees when they went from a traditional defined benefit civil service program to the federal employees retirement system, a much smaller defined benefit retirement system. Now this is fair to new employees because they know that's the deal as they're coming in. They may be sad they didn't get this retirement, but they understand it. It's then fair to the current employees, and you've heard this, but they have been counting on this, some of them for a very long time, as part of their compensation. And that's how they hired in. But it's about a lot more than just being fair to the current employees, because we in the county and in the county government need our current employees. We need their expertise in the short term and in the long term. And another suggestion I have is to pursue as possible any public-public partnerships that the county has or can get. I know one where the National Park Service, their Historic Preservation Training Center, partners with county government, and they do historic preservation work together. And when there's extra money left over, the Park Service says to the county, what more work do you want to do? And they do more work. In a public-private partnership, at that point, the private partner takes that money as profit. That's just that model. In addition, in this partnership, county employees are learning skills as part of this, so they can carry on and do it organically later on. And another just quick example, county partnered with state and federal agencies to acquire Othello Regional Park, so there was very little county money that went into that acquisition, partnering with Fish and Wildlife and so on for habitat. Now, if you go into an outsourcing effort, I think you're starting to see this. You want to start small pilot programs. What we've always taught, you go for the low-hanging fruit, something that's easy to accomplish, something that you hope you can get the employees to work with you on. Something that's easy to do and has a big payoff, and then you build on those successes. You may well have opportunities where an employee is about to retire and would enjoy going to work for a contractor, and you would capture that expertise. But in the short term, you need your employees to do market research. I'll come back to that. Write the RFP. Evaluate the proposals that come in. Market research is vital. I have concerns when I hear an idea of tossing an RFP out there to see what happens. There's a huge territory between looking in the yellow pages, which is a valid place to start, and putting out an RFP. Now, some of my terminology is federal. I can explain it if you want. But you want to have sources sought notices, industry day, and then meetings with individual companies, because they're not going to talk in a big meeting the way they will one-on-one. Requests for information. And finally, what's really important is a draft RFP that you circulate to industry, of course, but you also circulate to other counties. To academia, because academia will give you the kind of comments industry won't give you about how industry might be able to game you with this particular RFP. And I would strongly suggest sending a draft RFP to Sandy Springs, Georgia, city of, see what they learned when they went out with their second RFP and so on. And in general, if you're doing this, you want to have performance-based contracting, performance-based outcomes, not a traditional statement of work kind of approach, but a statement of objectives. Really already? Okay, trying to have one contractor is a bad idea.
Do 1 more minute and wrap it up.
Okay, trying to have one contractor is a bad idea because few companies are going to have all of these skills, and you're going to have to get a general contractor to go out and get that talent and manage it. It's going to be cumbersome. It's going to be hard to get things done that you've wanted to do. You'll be 2 levels removed from the way that you are now. You'll never do this in a year. I know you took that thing off this, but for example, what if you put out an RFP and nobody proposes? You put resources into doing that. The companies have to have resources to put a proposal together. They may not do it if they perceive that people sort of don't know what they're doing. So, acquire in haste, repent at leisure. And I do want to say, I've lived in the county for more than 20 years. I was a member of a county commission as a citizen volunteer for more than 11. Every single time I dealt with a county employee, it was always a good experience. All the county employees, I'm amazed I can say this, were always helpful. They made sure I had what I needed. They were courteous and competent. And I hope we can keep our government that way. Thank you.
Thank you. Rob Nicodemus, if you want to speak. Anita Moore, and then Luis Lynch. Yes, Mr. Commissioner.
I heard you wanted to take questions at the end, but I just wanted to note I want to ask Mr. Looney a question in regards to how he would see performance-based contracts versus statement of work. So just well,
yeah, I have no problem with that. If we can just kind of keep it to.
All right, if you do that.
You want to do
Just a good example of that, if you would, please.
This is a good example I used in class a lot. It has to do with grass cutting. And I know we do hire some grass cutting to be done. And the traditional statement of work approach is to say the offeror, the contractor shall mow the grass every 2 weeks or every Wednesday afternoon or something like that. The statement of objectives approach is that the contractor shall maintain the grass between 2 inches and 3 inches tall, that type of thing. But you need your employees to bring their expertise to get that kind of contract going.
Yeah, so
And anything I make comment, and you can answer me in an email at some point, is what do you think about the process and strategy that Mayor Rahm Emanuel is using in Chicago with a lot of his public-private partnerships? We don't have to answer now, but if you look,
I'm not familiar with it.
yeah, because he's moving forward very aggressively. But if you look that up, and if you can give me, you can shoot me an email or something.
I'll look at it.
Thank you.